where you want it.
Bay 12, please.
Hello there, Transformers fans, and welcome back to another Bay 12 video review. Today we're reviewing the new Shattered Glass 2-pack featuring Shattered Glass Rodimus Prime and Shattered Glass Sideswipe with his Minicon partner, Whisper. The first of an updated Armada Minicon figure mold, by the way. And with the upcoming Jolt coming with the PulseCon exclusive Hot Rod Colors Hot Shot, it makes me wonder if next year we're going to start seeing smaller scale Minicons again, around the same size as, you know, the Micromasters and the Battleizers and so on and so forth. At least, I hope that's happening, because with us getting an update to the original Whisper, or rather the original Windsheer figure, like we did with this pack, I really hope that not only when we get that inevitable Armada Universe Wheeljacks figure announcement, that we also get Windsheer with him, because that would be very, very nice. But more on that later. Right now, here we have this awesome 2-pack, and I really like the box for this 2-pack a lot. The Shattered Glass packaging as a windowless box is very interesting like this, and the artwork with the two characters looks really good. And then there's Whisper there at the top in his little stealth bomber mode, and then on the back, there's Shattered Glass Sideswipe, and there's Shattered Glass Rodimus with their alt modes displayed. And that's pretty much it for the packaging. And here we have Rodimus and Sideswipe out of the packaging, and both figures turned out very, very well. So well that this is exactly how I hoped these figures would turn out. Hasbro absolutely nailed it. These are pretty much, I dare say, perfect recreations of these respective characters, because when you already have really good molds for these characters and all you have to do is make a couple of minor adjustments in the tooling, specifically the face sculpt on Rodimus, of course, that's really the only tooling change that they had to do with this figure, and the new head sculpt, the new chest, or rather hood of the chest. The front of the car is a little different too, to match, but they didn't have to alter Sideswipe hardly at all to do the Shattered Glass Sideswipe / Armada Universe Wheeljacks mold, and they used the mold I was hoping they would use. Yes, we've had a lot of releases of the Siege Sideswipe mold, and we've had a lot of altered releases of the Siege Sideswipe mold. However, that was a very, very good mold from the start, and I'm not going to be one to complain about Hasbro recycling a mold if it applies to other characters and it applies to them well. And it definitely does in this case. This was the mold I was hoping they would use if we were to get an updated Armada Universe Wheeljacks. And I'm kind of happy we got the Sideswipe version first, because that practically guarantees Wheeljacks is coming. I would be incredibly dumbfounded surprised if we don't get a Wheeljacks announcement very, very soon. Who knows? It might happen before this video gets posted, in between me recording this video. It's possible. Okay. Anyway, awesome figures. Like I said, we're going to start off with Rodimus here. So this is not Rodimus Unicronus. Want to get that across right now. Shattered Glass Rodimus Prime and Rodimus Unicronus share only one thing: their color scheme, and that's it. That's the only thing those characters genuinely share, is a color scheme. And Shattered Glass Rodimus Prime came first, okay? And by a while. Came first by a good amount of time. So Shattered Glass Rodimus, of course, was first introduced in the BotCon comics and Transformers Collectors Club comics. He got his first figure as a BotCon exclusive, which was a repaint slash retool of the more prominent Hot Rod mold of the time, which was the Classics Hot Rod mold, which is still an awesome mold even to this day. Love that figure. But this is definitely a much better figure mold because Hasbro absolutely nailed it when they made the Studio 86 Hot Rod mold. So I've been very much anticipating a re-release of this mold in Shattered Glass colors, and I'm glad it finally happened because both of these figures look really, really great side by side, and this one came with all of the same accessories. The flame effects that plug onto the barrels, the buzzsaw blade, the matrix, even though this one isn't really a matrix bearer because he doesn't ever bear the matrix, at least not in any of the Shattered Glass stories we got. And there it is with the awesome translucent effect because we had to include the effect on it. Now you can't put it in his chest, but I will say I really like this version more than the one we got with the Shattered Glass Optimus. Don't get me wrong, I love the purple of it, but this one just feels a little bit more evil Matrix of Leadership versus just a purple Matrix of Leadership, in my opinion. Having the dark gray with the red center just feels more like a mirror to the good version of the Matrix of Leadership than just the purple and gold the other one was. Rodimus is, of course, fully articulated. Head is on a ball joint. Fully articulated shoulders, although that spoiler does get in the way. Single jointed elbows. You have a swivel at the bicep. Wrist joints. You can open and close the fingers just like you could with the regular Hot Rod mold. You can, there we go, change to the saw blade just like you could with the Hot Rod mold. And unlike with the Hot Rod, they went with a translucent red saw blade instead of the solid metallic saw blade that the other one had. And I'm so glad that they did. I mean, the other one would have looked just fine with this, but it looks even cooler being translucent red for this version than on the other version. And you can, of course, also turn this hand around for his little welding torch, although I assume this version of Hot Rod or Rodimus uses it for disassembly rather than putting his good friend Cup back together again. Maybe he'll even weld Cup's mouth shut. I could see this version of him doing that. And then one of my favorite features of this figure mold, he still has the drop-down visor. And honestly, I feel like I just kind of want to display him with it all the time because it looks so good on this figure. I mean, the blue visor looks great on Hot Rod, but I just like how his face looks so much. But this one, I don't know, I kind of like leaving the visor down a lot on this one. What do you guys think? Visor or no visor? Let me know in the comments. Also, real quick for comparison, because I did mention, and it is worth mentioning because for many collectors for quite some time, this was probably your Shattered Glass Rodimus, or at least a more affordable version of a Shattered Glass Rodimus for you, and that is actually Rodimus Unicronus. And this is Rodimus Unicronus, possessed by the Chaos Bringer himself during the Prime Wars trilogy, specifically in the online miniseries that Machinima did. Hot Rod gave up the Matrix of Leadership, wanted to distance himself from it, and didn't want to be leader anymore. So he basically rejected the Matrix of Leadership, gave it back to his peers around him, and that left him vulnerable to Unicron, and Unicron possessed him and made him his Matrix bearer of a sort. And that was an interesting and cool take on Hot Rod, although I'm a little disappointed in how quickly and easily he was corrupted by Unicron, like it really didn't take much at all. It was just kind of like a switch was flipped on. But you'll notice the Decepticon symbol on his chest versus the Shattered Glass Autobot symbol on his chest. So you can see the two side by side. And also, of course, this one was a leader class during the Prime Wars, and the leader class back then were a little bit bigger. So he's like a large Voyager class in this robot mode next to a smaller Voyager class in this robot mode. Transformation is just like with the Studio Series 86 Hot Rod figure. First, we're going to go ahead and take off these extra bits. We need to bring the fists back out because those actually stay out in his other mode, kinda. I mean, yes, they get covered up. You don't see them while he's in his car mode, but you also don't have them folded into the forearm for it either. So there is that. What we're going to do is we're going to start with the arms. We're going to untab that flap right there. We're going to rotate these barrels right here, and then we're going to fold down that little bit over the hand like so, and it's just going to gently cover and line up with that panel right there. Do the same thing over here. Unfold that panel, bring it down, and it just covers that hand nice and easy. Now, this piece pops off very easily. As you can see, it does it on the other figure as well, and it's easy to just pop back on, but just be wary. It can happen, and it is a very common thing with this figure for that piece to pop off. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to pull on this section right here. We're going to untab that. We're going to rotate this, and then we're also going to pull back on this section right here. We're going to unfold this front of the car, and we're going to rotate all of that. Bring down the Rodimus head, fold that back into the torso, and then we're going to fold that forward. That's going to tab in right there to that collar section. Next, we're going to open up the front of the car. We're also going to bring those arms back. And those arms are going to tab in right here. There's one little tab right there. It's going to tab in right there on the forearm. There we go. Keep that section nice and secure. And then, I guess we'll just straighten that out a little since I didn't do that sooner. Fold out, where are they? There. Fold out these little tiny bits there in the middle. Close the hood of the car up. And we're just about done. We pretty much finished the front of the car. Now we got to finish the back of the car and do all the legs. So we're going to open this little panel here on the back of the cab there, fold out this little section. There's the other bits of the exhaust pipes. Fold in that foot, fold that down, and then that's going to collapse like so. But you'll notice we still didn't turn the waist around, so let's go ahead and do that. And then we'll click that into place, line up those pipes, plug that together into the arm, securing that all as one piece like so. Now on the back, let's go ahead and finish that other leg. So untab and pull out from the back of that calf section. Fold that foot in, rotate this up as we do. Just bring that over to the side, wrap that around, plug in, and then we just bring this section and the legs tab in between these tabs right there. So that's gonna fit like so. Just line it up, get those little bits secured into place. Make sure nothing else got misaligned while we were moving things around. And there is Rodimus in his vehicle mode, which is a really cool and twisted take on the vehicle mode of Hot Rod. And I love the bright red headlights. They look so menacing in this vehicle mode. And real quick for comparison, here is Rodimus Prime next to Hot Rod, so you can see them side by side. And I like how much sharper and more violent the flames look on the Shattered Glass version than they do on the classic version. I also like how different the color profiles are. You've got these edgy blacks and grays and this gunmetal gray and the purple and the bright red windshield and headlights. And then over here you've got this just really nice shade of red, this very light shade of red. You've got these nice oranges, some slightly brighter orange flames, the blue windshield, the regular headlights, and the big yellow spoiler. Seeing them side by side is awesome. I love the comparisons next to the regular universe and Shattered Glass universe characters. It's always something I've loved looking at side by side. It's very satisfying to see these twisted takes on these classic heroes that we've seen for so very long now. So definitely hope the Shattered Glass line continues because they've been really awesome so far. Also, here is Rodimus Prime next to Rodimus Unicronus, and the size difference in alt mode is significantly different. I mean, he is way bigger in his alt mode than he is now. Granted, this version is also meant to make the actual big Rodimus vehicle mode, whereas this one isn't meant to do that. And I wonder if we'll ever get a Commander class repaint of Rodimus Prime with the whole trailer and everything. It's not something that's totally necessary because none of the versions of Rodimus Prime in the Shattered Glass universe have the whole trailer thing, at least not that we got to see, at least not in the Collectors Club days, and so far not in the current Shattered Glass universe because IDW was writing that, and I don't know if Skybound is going to pick up where they left off or not. I haven't heard. Hopefully, because I would love a continuation of that comic, but honestly, I don't know what the legality or logistics is in terms of that. If Hasbro just gets to point the finger and say, okay, you guys keep writing us some Shattered Glass comics where this story left off, or if they just have to start over fresh again, who knows, but I certainly don't. And here is Shattered Glass Sideswipe. I love Shattered Glass Sideswipe. Shattered Glass Sideswipe looks absolutely fantastic. I love the gray and teal color of Shattered Glass Sideswipe. I love the big crossed out Autobot symbol with the little Decepticon symbol there in the bottom. Again, just like with the Armada Universe Wheeljacks figure. The original Shattered Glass Sideswipe was a BotCon exclusive from the original BotCon exclusive set. And of course, he came with a repaint of Windsheer as Whisper back then as well. So I'm glad that Whisper also got an update, which I'm looking forward to, like I said, the Armada Universe Wheeljacks and Windsheer, because if we got Whisper, we got to get Windsheer with it, right? And this nice update to the Minicon is really great too. We'll go ahead and just cover Whisper here because there's more comparisons to do with Sideswipe anyway than there are with Whisper, because I don't have an original Windsheer in my collection anymore. I used to when I was much younger, but I got away from Armada for a little bit. But with these updates, some characters I've just been waiting on some of the updates because I can see them coming, and some characters I've been picking up where there hasn't been a lot of movement on those characters. So here is Whisper. This is a nice update to that figure. The head sculpt is a little bit better, a little bit smaller. Shoulders are on a ball joint, single jointed elbow, so that's really good articulation there because the last ones just went forward and back like that, and that was pretty much all you got. Hips are on a ball joint, single jointed knees. You also have this little heel spurred joint as well, but that's mostly due to transformation. You can also articulate his wings up and down, so nice little added bit of articulation instead of just having these sit flat or just sticking straight out. I like that you can put them up at an angle, or you can put them down. If you don't want them visible at all, you can just have them tucked down like that so they're out of the way. Transformation is very simple because it's a Minicon. It's supposed to be simple. We're going to start by bringing that chest section up, bringing that back section up, straightening out those wings, bringing the arms back and pegging them onto the wings like so. And then for his regular stealth bomber mode, what you do is you bring these forward and you tuck them underneath, just like with the original Windsheer Whisper mold back in the day. But if you want to power links him with your Sideswipe, what you got to do is bring them up and tab them on top of the vehicle mode like so, because unlike back in the day, the new Minicon has a male Minicon port instead of a female Minicon port, which is interesting because back in the day, the Minicons had the female port that plugged onto the figure, because some of the Transformer figures had buttons inside the male ports on the full-size figures, and pushing this down with the peg inside of it is what activated it. But now it's in reverse, which is kind of interesting, and I guess that just answers the issue of some of the modern updates not having male Minicon ports anymore and just having the regular 3mm ports just on the figure wherever, because that eliminates the issue of how are we going to attach our Minicons. Well, if we have new Minicons coming and they're going to have these ports, even if they fold out or fold in or whatever, plugging onto the figure, well, then that eliminates that problem. So I guess it wasn't a big issue. It's just an issue if you want to combine the original Armada releases with the updated modern figures, because, like I said, back in the day, the full-size figures had the male Minicon ports and the Minicons had female ports, where now it's reversed. These are female ports, that's a male port, so now you know. Anyway, once you have that, you can power links your figure with your larger figure, just like you could back then, and it makes it really awesome. Sideswipe is fully articulated. Head is on a ball joint. Fully articulated shoulders, upper bicep, single jointed elbows. Wrists still go in and out just due to transformation, which is a shame because I wish they could also bend up and down, because these are not necessarily melee weapons. These are blasters. If you've seen Armada, you would know that these are actually his blasters. So he holds them forward like so, and the figure can't do that, which is kind of a shame. Now, the original Wheeljacks figure couldn't do it either, so there's also that. But it's at least he actually has them now, because on the Wheeljacks figure, they were just fireable missiles from the car doors. Now they're the actual weapons based off of the animation from Armada, and I really like that, and again, I'm looking forward to that too. The other changes they did mold-wise to make this more Wheeljacks and Shattered Glass Sideswipe accurate is that head sculpt. I haven't really talked about it yet, but that head sculpt is very, very well done. That's exactly right for Shattered Glass Sideswipe and Armada Wheeljacks. So I'm glad they took the time to remold the head as well, because it looks very good. And then, of course, you have the shoulder-mounted rocket. I figured Shattered Glass, mirror universe, mirror opposite, it should be on the left instead of the right this time, even though you could plug it on either side. Waist, hips, upper thigh, single-jointed knees, side ankle joints, a little bit of up and down on the foot, mostly when you open the panel to fold it in, and again, that's just obviously due to transformation here. And for comparison, here is Shattered Glass Sideswipe next to G1 Universe Sideswipe. Very drastically different, not just a different coat of paint on a Lamborghini figure, which is kind of interesting with Shattered Glass Sideswipe's design, because this was a design choice they made back in the late 2000s for, like I said, BotCon and Collectors Club, and going with the Wheeljacks mold from Armada was an interesting choice for a Sideswipe, because a lot of fans back in the day during Armada, they didn't really feel like Wheeljacks was an appropriate name for that character. In fact, a lot of fans, myself included, always thought Sideswipe was more an appropriate name for that character. So it was very fitting that they kind of acknowledged the fans and what everybody else was thinking by turning that into a Sideswipe figure later on in the long run. And like I said, Hasbro beautifully updated it for us. Transformation is just like with the other side swipes of this mold. There's been so many of this mold. First, we're going to take off the shoulder cannon there. Then we're going to take out his weapons, take those out of his hands. Next, we're just going to go ahead and fold the hands into the arms there. We're going to pull the chest section up, bring that all the way up, in fact. And before we bring in the arms, let's go ahead and bring these doors out. Fold in the arms there on the sides. Oh, right. Fold the elbows. And then those are going to plug in like so. Close that torso section. Go ahead and close these doors here on the sides. Go ahead and close those legs together. Open those front panels. Fold that in. Rotate that waist around. Bring that down. And then close those little doors. And there is Shatterglass Sideswipe in his alt mode. And the stripes look awesome in this alt mode. I love the stripes on the back. I love the center stripe there on the front. This is my favorite release of this figure. I'm looking forward to the yellow on this gray, but I can tell you right now, I love this color scheme so much more because it's got my second favorite color on it right there. And yeah, I'm so happy about it. You can take his little bits here and plug them on the side of the doors. Take his little cannon there, plug it right there on that side or up on top, or take Whisper and plug Whisper on top. For comparison, here is Shatterglass Sideswipe next to Shatterglass Rodimus Prime. So you can see these two face off against each other because they are enemies. He did join the heroic Decepticons. He did defect. And here is Shatterglass Sideswipe next to G1 Universe Sideswipe. So you can see them side by side. And they look really cool side by side in vehicle mode. Honestly, I think they look cooler compared in vehicle mode than they do in their robot modes. What do you think? Do you like seeing them in robot mode side by side or in alt mode side by side together? And which release of the Siege Sideswipe mold is your favorite? Let us know in the comments. I would like to know. Much like the Tetrajet mold, we'll probably not get away from this one for a while either. But like I said, as long as they keep doing awesome remolds and re-releases using this, I don't care. I like all of the figures they've done so far. They've all been good. It's just we've gotten a lot of them. But if it's not broken, don't fix it. Guys, thank you so much for tuning into today's video review featuring the new Shatterglass Rodimus Prime versus Shatterglass Sideswipe and Whisper. This was a really awesome 2-pack. And this wasn't even necessary as a 2-pack. Hasbro could have totally parted these out and released these guys individually if they wanted to. We could have gotten them as 2 more wave pieces of whatever the next Shatterglass wave of figures is. But I also don't mind us getting a Shatterglass figure here and there. I don't necessarily feel like we need to get solid waves all the time, especially with the other online exclusive waves or store exclusive waves of figures we've been getting more and more consistently between the entire sublines that Walmart gets, the sublines that Amazon gets with, you know, a few assorted exclusives here and there, and then of course the assorted exclusives that Target gets in the Buzzworthy Bumblebee line. There's been a lot of different places to put in good Transformer releases, and I love that they have the exclusive Shatterglass line on Pulse, and whether they want to do that as full waves or just pieces here and there, I'm happy with both. I'm happy with either. So keep it up. Just keep getting us awesome figures, awesome updates to characters that we've needed for a while, like these right here. And I will be happy, and I'm sure lots of other fans will be too. Stay tuned for more Transformers reviews. Like and subscribe. Follow us on social media. Check out CoolToyReview.com for other awesome toy-related news and content, and like and subscribe to the Cool Toy Review YouTube channel. For Star Wars content, check out RebelScum.com every single day. There's something new on Rebel Scum daily, and like and subscribe to the rebelscum.com YouTube channel for awesome Star Wars video toy related content and more. If you're looking for some Transformers and other awesome merch, come by our physical location inside Order 66 Multiverse in the shops at Willowbend Mall in Plano, Texas, which houses not only us, but also Order 66 Toys, the nation's official all-Star Wars collectibles store. And in case you're not local, they go live every single Friday night on the Order 66 Toys Facebook page at 7 p.m. Central Time, and they ship all around the world. Check out our other archival website, collectorsoracle.com. You can sign up for a free account and start adding stuff to your own collection and keep track of your collection digitally absolutely free. We'll see you guys later. We'll see you another time. Transform and roll out.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.